What do we have here? Elizabeth Warren endorsing Zohran Mamdani in blistering rebuke of status quo Cuomo and Adams. Now, what do we got here from Elizabeth Warren? Listen, I have not forgotten about the shit that she pulled with fucking the big burn dog, but still, good endorsement.
Let's talk about Zohran Mamdani. The billionaires are crying tears into their coffee mugs about
True.
Zohran's massive victory in New York City to become the Democratic nominee for mayor.
True.
Now, the way I see it,
Snake is shedding her
Zohran
skin.
ran a
True.
campaign that inspired people, that actually got people on their feet and out the doors, kind of inspired.
She's spitting so far. She's not wrong. We've talked about the whole reasonings for as to why Zohran Mamdani actually got people out to vote, right? Because he talked to their fucking issues and he is genuine about trying to solve the issues of people within New York. As much as for whatever reason Andrew Cuomo, that fucking dipshit, and seemingly everyone in the media establishment of New York was trying to make it about foreign policy for some fucking reason. It's why are you making this about foreign fucking policy? You're going to be the mayor of New York. What the fuck are you talking about? It's very strange.
And the issue he focused on, affordability.
Which is polling very popularly with a lot of fucking people, right? We can look this up. Which issue is are Americans talking about the most? It's affordability, right? 2025, Americans are primarily discussing economic issues, particularly inflation and healthcare costs, alongside concerns about the affordability of goods and services. So that's according to, of course, the AI overview, because it's, fast and quick. But what do we have here? Inflation, bipartisan cooperation, top Americans list. So this is from Pew. Narrower majorities say that the affordability of healthcare, drug addiction, and the federal budget deficit are very big problems in the country right now. There's immigration, gun violence, violent crime, state of moral issues. We've talked about why illegal immigration is as big of an issue as it is. It's very, very fucking stupid. But no, most of the stuff that people are talking about, generally speaking, it's about affordability. People are just it's more and more difficult than ever to fucking afford stuff for people to be able to buy even fucking groceries. What the fuck is going on here? No one can even buy housing, right? America, you can probably, I don't know if this is true or not, Alex, but America is, in terms of housing, it's not great. You can get cheap housing, but you'd have to be in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere, and you'd still need a fucking car anyways. So, that's cool. That's great. Declines in share of naming guns. Climate change. Only a third of Americans say climate change is a problem. Jesus fucking Christ. Very, very cool. We love that climate change. We love climate change, don't we, folks? But yeah. Drug addiction, affordability of healthcare, those are the biggest things. Inflation, which is about affordability. So that's cool. That's great. Fantastic.
I'm talking housing, childcare, transportation. So we should be asking ourselves, why are billionaires and Wall Street CEOs pouring millions of dollars into a race to stop Zohran?
Ooh, I can answer that question. I got this. It's because they don't want to pay more in taxes in order to be able to have better goods and services and public services within the fucking city. That's the reason why. But yeah, she's gonna go into it. Freezing the rent? Well, who does that suffer more? Fucking real estate developers, who very often have undue sort of control and rather outsized fucking control, to be fucking quite honest, about a lot of local fucking policy in terms of housing development and whatnot. Lots of fucking powerful real estate fucking lobbies. Wall Street, they're probably not going to be a big fan of all the fucking wealth taxes, so they're not going to be a big fan of stuff like that. And who else? Car lobbyists. They're probably not going to be a big fan of the fact that buses are going to be made affordable and free, so they don't like that either. Oh, that's a good point there, Alex. Yeah, but also you might get cheap land in bumblefuck nowhere, but utilities and shit are expensive. That's a very, very good point. That's true, Alex.
You know who hates freezing the rent? Real estate moguls. Some of the people hosting
That's what I said.
big ticket
I agree.
fundraisers for Eric Adams.
True.
And you know who doesn't like paying their fair share in taxes? Well, the Wall Street billionaires bankrolling
That's what I said.
Cuomo's campaign. The reality is the wealthy
I
and
said that.
well-connected like having a politician in office that's in their pocket. There's reasons that Adams barely escaped prosecution on charges of bribery and fraud.
He's Turkey's strongest soldier. Turkey! I love Istanbul! 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 Turkey! Turkey! That's that. We all know why. It's because Eric Adams is Turkey's fucking strongest soldier. Yeah. 07 to the Turkmen's fucking plight against corruption.
And look, even after Cuomo vowed to start an anti-corruption commission, the second the commission began investigating one of Cuomo's buddies, he shut the panel down entirely. Look, these guys are in on it too. But we don't have to accept a corrupt status quo that's making life too damn hard for working people. In a democracy, billionaires should not be able to buy our elections and control our politicians.
Elon?
And that's what Zohran believes. He's not afraid to take on the billionaires and the giant corporations to make New York more affordable. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Zohran Mamdani is New York's best choice for mayor.
Based that Elizabeth Warren is fucking saying this. But I guess she also decided to do a bit of an interview with CNBC. I've seen some clips making the rounds of this interview, and it was really, really funny. So I want to see it for myself.
You mentioned Mamdani.
That's I want to see it because it was really, really funny. So she's on CNBC Business. So for those who probably don't really know, but the business fucking channels it's basically like, we're the bourgeoisie, and we're going to complain about all of the bullshit that we are so getting affected by. You know, it's basically the channel for a bunch of fucking fart sniffers. But what do we got here?
And you are in New York, sort of speaking in behalf of him to a certain extent. You know, I wonder, though, often we see this, and this is a local election. New York does not operate in a vacuum. It competes with other cities. And so this idea of somehow raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers, who, by the way, I would point out, pay roughly 15% of their income right now between city and state, raising taxes on them will simply drive them away. Shouldn't the focus of a...
Cry about it, pussy, 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 pussy. Yeah, dude, all the fucking billionaires that have to pay a tiny bit more in fucking taxes are going to leave New York, which is one of the financial capitals of the planet. Yeah. No, they won't be able to buy any more cryptocurrency. Won't you think of the precious sensibilities of the billionaire class? Get the fuck out of here with this, like, stupid bullshit. Like I said before, a lot of the motherfuckers who listen to this and host this fucking goddamn CNBC fucking business channel shit, they're all fucking demons. All of them. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Yeah, are they gonna... Yeah, that's a good point, Boy Meets Minnie. Yeah, Zoran's literally matching New Jersey's tax rates. Where would they go? Fucking Monaco? Yeah, are they gonna all go to fucking Monaco? Nonsense.
The mayor be on delivering services to the constituents of the city, and doing that by raising the most revenue as possible without chasing businesses and the high-income taxpayers out of the city, because they can go to Austin, they can go to Dallas, they can go to Atlanta, they can go to Nashville.
No, the fuck they are not. Like I said before, New York is the city of cities. Quite literally. There is a reason why the stock exchange is put there. Because it is a center for global, private, financial fucking capital. Those dumbasses are not going to fucking leave. Because again, they have way too much in terms of committed investments in there. There is no fucking way a lot of these, like, financier, billionaire, fucking mogul types with a lot of stake within, like, private capital and finances are going to leave New York. Because again, like I said before, guess what's there? The New York Stock Exchange.
This is your issue. It's a national issue, not a local issue.
The issue is affordability. Do you know how many working families are chased out of New York City every day? Because they can't afford housing, they can't afford groceries, they can't afford child care. What Zohran is saying is, I want people to be able to afford to live in New York City. That's what keeps it a vibrant city. That's
True.
what makes people want.
Wait, yeah, like that's a really, really good point that Elizabeth Warren is raising there. How many people are actually getting chased out of New York City? Who are the people leaving New York City? It's mostly poor people. I think there's a study about this, right? People leaving New York City are primarily those seeking more affordable housing, larger living spaces, and a slower pace of life. Often families and those nearing retirement. Younger professionals and single individuals are more likely to replace them, drawn into the city's lifestyle and job opportunities. If I were to fucking take a guess, more than likely, digging into the data, who's leaving? Curious. May not seem unusual to find a room full of people on a weeknight after mingling in Midtown Manhattan. Hosted by American Heritage Schools. During COVID and post-COVID, I think people realized they can work from anywhere, said Douglas Lowry. A spokesperson said 420 of the 5,000 students at American Heritage are from New York City originally. Another 158 families are on the waiting list. Michael Vrobulsky has lived in the city for more than 30 years with his wife, have 2 children. He said they decided a few years ago it was time to leave, citing politics and crime as some of the reasons. Oh, I'm sure. We feel that for our kids to grow up in an environment that New York has turned into is scary, to say the least. Yeah, I'm certain. Even though crime has been fucking down, but whatever. 6-year-old will enroll at American Heritage. Majority of our friends, colleagues, and family have already moved out of New York. The number of school-age children living in New York City, according to the U.S. Census, dropped by about 6.48% from 2022 to 2023. Number of kids in 4 years dropped by 15%. Took a real hit after the pandemic. Absolutely right. Andy Beveridge, CEO of the demography firm Social Explorer. Beveridge said the data of fewer children living in the city matches data from New York public schools, but the drop in enrollment. Whether it's a bigger trend, who knows? Census data has shown 500,000 people, a lot more than 500,000 people. He said while the city took a significant hit at the start of the pandemic, most of the population loss was from 2021. COVID-19 made it harder to track who left for good and who returned. Estimates are coming out. Vacancy rate. The explanation. So it's, why are we only talking about like fucking COVID and crime? I'm a little sussed out here. Supply imbalance. Volume is younger people who haven't settled down yet in their career. Even if younger single workers are replacing more families, don't expect rents to go down. That's true. Definitely a supply imbalance. Is there any fucking numbers here? I'm just looking for some fucking numbers. Can someone find some fucking numbers about the reasons why people are fucking leaving? People are leaving the state is mainly due to New York state government policies, not federal policies. Yeah, I'm certain. I just want some fucking goddamn data. Business Insider. Here we go. Maybe you'll find something interesting here. Most people who left New York headed to these states for greener pastures. Taylor and Tatton Barnes decided to leave New York City. The couple paid $160,000 for a one-bedroom fixer-upper in the small town of Pomfret, Vermont. Their mortgage payment is half of what they spent on rent in a studio apartment in Brooklyn. Well, affordability. They felt the property, which came with 2.6 acres of land, was a perfect place for them to start a homestead, grow their family. Slower pace of life in Vermont has been refreshing. Still exhausted being young parents, juggling work and family life. One thing's for certain, I just can't imagine how we pull it off in New York. Census data in October 2024 indicates that more than 481,500 people have left New York to another state between 2022 and 2023, while just over 302,835 moved into New York from elsewhere in the U.S. Data comes from the American Community Survey, which includes responses to questions concerning moving patterns. Yeah, you're 1,000% there, Boy Meets Minnie. This is the exact same shit that Zoran has been fucking talking about. It's what he's been consistently talking about. talking about how it's really difficult for people to start families because it's really hard to like afford rent or fucking groceries. It's about affordability being the main fucking problem. New York lost nearly 500,000 residents in those 2 years. New Jersey captured the second most movers, with those who wanted a break from the city without having to travel too far. Others have made further moves. Florida has seen those. Pennsylvania and California followed New Jersey. Texas and North Carolina also received New Yorkers. Harriet Harrell left New York for Raleigh and found that her dollar goes a lot further down south. Yeah, because, well, they're poorer. Harrell and her husband rented a 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn before buying a 4-bedroom home in Raleigh with a 2,800 extra square feet. BI than her mortgage is less than her rent in New York. Overall, we found that the cost of living is lower, she said. Going out to eat or grabbing cocktails is slightly less expensive than it was in New York. Damn. Another person citing affordability. New York is expensive, but the benefits outweigh the cons for sure. Over 3,100 people, or 31,000 people moved from California to New York between 2023 and 2024, while nearly 28,000 made the move from Pennsylvania. Florida, Massachusetts, and Texas also had large outflows into New York. New Jersey is the top spot in the states of losing residents to New York. California sent the second most movers, places like Pennsylvania, Florida, and Texas. And more than likely, these are people that are younger who are looking to try to get, like, good jobs in New York. That's the fucking point for as to why. Probably get a lot of better job opportunities. A lot of young people are leaving a lot of these states because New York is, you're probably going to get paid well, whether working in, like, the tech sector, financial sector, you know, a whole bunch of different reasons. That's reason why a lot of people are going in. But, again, affordability is also a big reason, especially with a lot of families and people who are retired, who aren't probably earning as much money or have to use money for a lot of other stuff, are leaving the state of New York, which, you know, makes sense.
Nobody disagrees with that, Senator, but raising taxes in order to do it?
Oh,
why is that
goodness.
the answer?
Oh, dear. Are you worried that billionaires are going to go hungry?
No, I'm worried that they're going
fucking cry more, you fucking loser. No, the billionaires are going to have to pay taxes. Cry more, you fucking stooge.
leave and spend their money elsewhere.
You know, they've threatened to do that.
Dude, they've said that, yeah. Like, even as Elizabeth Warren is saying, they have said that they were going to do that constantly. They're never going to fucking do that. Why? New York is the center of financial global capital. That's why they're not going to fucking do it. So cope and seethe about it.
Over and over and over.
And they have. They've left.
But here's the thing.
And Goldman
like who?
Sachs, when they create new jobs, they do it in Dallas. And Blackstone won't build a new headquarters.
Oh, no, not
You
Blackstone.
want to have a workable city. You want to have
Not
a city
Goldman
that's
Sachs.
vibrant. You want to have a city where the streets are full, where there are things for sale 24 hours a day. Then you need people who can live here and work
Well, we've
here.
got that right now,
Not
by the
people
way.
who
I
have
would
to
point
take
out
an
New
hour
York
and
is...
Then why the fuck is everyone complaining about affordability, you fucking ghoul? Who the fuck is the name? What's the name of this, like, stupid little fucking whiner? What's the name of this fucking stupid dumbass? I love the main talking point is collapse too, but what about the billionaires? Yeah, that's true.
New York is thriving, so now it's doing pretty well.
What do you mean by thriving? Like, what do you mean by that? Thriving for who exactly? The rich? The corporations? That's true. The GDP of the fucking city of New York is in the trillions. It is a very, very rich city. But you talk to fucking any average fucking New Yorker, what are they gonna fucking talk about? How it's difficult to afford rent, groceries. Being able to get everyday fucking items is difficult to afford, which is what Zohran Mamdani consistently fucking talks about all the fucking time when he is ever on the fucking campaign trail. There's a reason why some of his most popular videos were people, well, that he was talking to immediately after the fucking election. That's one of his big hit videos. His second big hit video was about, you know, the halalflation, right? How it is difficult for a lot of food truck permits due to a lot of burdensome regulation. Here's where this is some fucking abunda shit comes in, okay? Some of the good instances of fucking abunda shit, okay? There's a lot of like idiotic, burdensome regulation and permits that these halal food truck sellers have to fucking get in order to be able to sell their fucking halal food to people within fucking New York. So, whoa, crazy. You get rid of some of this, like, burdensome regulation, and small businesses are going to be able to thrive and survive. Add to the fucking culture of the city. Add more to the economy of the fucking city. Oh, crazy. Because, again, if you care about the state of the economy, you should care about the state of the fucking little guy. Because what's more important than anything? It's not billionaires and the rich and corporations being able to hoard as much fucking wealth as possible on a smaller and smaller subset of fucking people. It is about money being able to flow and move through the economy and exchange. That's quite literally how capitalism was set up, you fucking dipshits.
I'm glad you think they're doing well, because a lot of people are struggling to pay for housing. A lot of people are struggling to pay for groceries. And I got to tell you, mamas and daddies who are facing $25,000 a year to pay for childcare.
Those are national issues. I mean, I know they are the local state, but you...
Hey, dumbass, how the fuck was Bill de Blasio able to fucking make universal pre-K, you fucking moron? He did it in fucking New York. It is a national issue. I don't disagree with that. However, mayors can implement particular policy and taxes in order to be able to help mitigate that. You know, be able to compensate for this sort of abstemiousness and, not belligerence, but the general sort of, like, unwillingness for Congress to act in the benefit of the fucking people. You just don't want that because, again, you are a stooge that represents Wall Street. That's who you are.
Can't you,
New York City.
Yes, but if you deal with them in that way, by what is always your backup, just tax them more, they will leave.
No, the backup is make this city and make this country work for everyone. I get that the Republican point of view is make this country and make every city in this country work better and better for a handful of billionaires and let everybody else eat dirt. But what Mamdani won on in a Democratic primary is he said, I'm going to address affordability. And he didn't win by one vote.
No, he won by a lot. It's very much
won by
unclear
a
he
lot.
has the ability to actually do it, by the way, based on the laws and what the governor has to say and what he would actually have to do.
You know, I love that as the fallback.
Well, he has some potential leverage there, because I've talked about this before, but Kathy Hochul has a governor's race coming relatively soon, you know? Well, when is that, by the way? When is the New York governor race? Well, when is that? 2026? Alongside the time of the midterms? If Zohran Mamdani gets into office and starts pressuring her to give him the funds and the ability in order to enact his agenda, and she starts to fucking drag her feet about that, you know what fucking Zoran's going to do? He's going to fucking make a media circuit in local New York stations. All the podcasts, all the fucking the media circuit, which he's been doing before, he's going to do the whole grand tour, start talking about how Kathy Hochul is not the one who's allowing him to be able to enact his agenda. He's going to explain how it works, the sort of like minutia and sort of like, generally speaking, how the sort of like getting the necessary funds in order to be able to do his particular tax policy to be able to, afford all the different policies that he wants to do. He's going to talk about how Kathy Hochul's the one who's stopping him from doing that. And he's going to fucking play the blame game. Because, again, Zoran's not a fucking coward. He's one of the fucking real ones, okay? He's going to point at Kathy and say, like, she's the one who's not doing this. And guess what? She's up for election relatively soon during the midterms. Hey, New Yorkers, maybe you guys should voice your fucking opinions on this. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna fucking play politics. He's not stupid. Unlike these fucking like sniveling assholes.
Position, and that is he's fighting for the right thing, but maybe the billionaires will have a way
everybody
to block
wants a
him.
more affordable city. There's no doubt about that. The question is how you go.
Dude, this fucking like conciliatory fucking attitude is some of the most wretched fucking bullshit on the fucking planet. Like, no, I actually like kind of, but you don't. Like, you don't actually agree with the affordability. You are okay with the affordability problems that plague New York City. You don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. You're a fucking ghoul who just defends fucking Wall Street. You are okay with average Americans and people just fucking suffering for the express purpose of a couple billionaires being able to make more and more fucking money. You don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. Get the hell out of here with this bullshit.
Housing.
They want to pay their part on this.
You build more housing. You do try to make it more affordable, but it is a very difficult thing to do. You know that around the country.
Okay, you want to know how you make it less difficult? Okay, you tax the fuck out of the rich. Oh, done. Easy. Whoa, crap. Oh my god. If you tax the rich, you get the money that you need in order to be able to enact your policy that you want. And Zohran Mamdani has been talking about that constantly within his policy platform and in speeches and in rallies about what he wants to do. Shocker.
This is not an issue that just here in New York. It's everywhere.
But it's not an issue that Eric Adams was fighting for. It's certainly not an issue that Andrew Cuomo
I think the mayor would say they have been trying to focus on building as many new.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Tommy is the one who said, I will make this a priority. And you know what he said? He said, I'm really going to lean in on childcare. I'm really going to lean in on housing. And I'm even going to try some new things to bring down the cost of groceries.
So it doesn't concern you that
I'm not going to sit around and pretend, oh, it's a federal problem. Let the federal government fix
You can say all these things, but again, I think many people would disagree to the extent that by raising...
It's a really good point, by the way, by Elizabeth Warren, right? Like, the fact that Zohran Mamdani is not, like, pussyfooting around. That's a very, very good point that she's raising there, saying, like, he's willing to fight. He's willing to put up a fight. Which is something that has been sorely fucking lacking from the Democratic Party for decades at this point. Which is why, that's another reason why people are a big fan of Zohran Mamdani. He's not just going to sit there and just collect a fucking paycheck and just be like, oh, yeah, well, I'm in office now. I can just sit back and chill. No. He won because he was willing to express that I'm here to fight for you, for New Yorkers.
You can say all these things, but again, I think many people would disagree to the extent that by raising taxes and making it more onerous for business that create the jobs, that create the revenues on which tax revenues come from, that you'd ultimately be dealing with a smaller pie. He may succeed by driving everybody out. Rents will go down.
Won't anyone ever just think of the bro, this is the third time that you fucking brought up this exact same fucking talking point. Like, cry more, you fucking loser. Won't anyone ever think about the billionaires? They're gonna leave. They're the ones who are the actual drivers of profit. Yeah, these, like, stupid morons that just, like, sit in their fucking ivory towers watching as their peasants toil away, running their fingers down to the fucking bone, making more profit for these stupid, out-of-touch, rich assholes who could give less of a fuck about their well-being, who could give less of a fuck about what they're fucking doing. Like, all they do is just sit there and watch their fucking money make money. Yeah, billionaires are not the people who fucking create jobs. It's fucking stupid.
Best way to run city government or national government is to start with the billionaires and say, what will work best for you? Vote Republican.
I don't think anybody in New York is talking about doing that.
If you don't, then let's make the city more affordable. Let's make the country more affordable. And the way we do that, let's focus on housing. Let's focus on groceries. Let's focus on child care. Donald Trump
These are your issues. These are national issues.
Trump
you deal with
ran
that.
For and New York should just say...
You are aware that Democrats are trying to deal with those fucking issues, that the Republicans have control of both the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They can't fucking do shit, okay? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they did try to deal with those fucking issues. It's just that there's two dipshits named Kirsten Sinema and fucking Joe Manchin who decided to be like, actually, we hate children, and we hate the American people, and we want them to suffer. So, fuck them. We're just going to say, fuck you, suffer, and actually, we don't give a fuck about childcare, having affordable childcare, and cutting child poverty in half, which was what, well, the child tax credit system was literally accomplishing. So, don't fucking, again, same stupid fucking deflection from this sniveling little piece of dog shit over here, saying, like, it's a national issue. Then how, again, I bring up the exact same example. How the fuck was Bill de Blasio able to have universal pre-K in New York City? Like, we can fucking look this up, right? Bill de Blasio Universal pre-K. The miracle of Bill de Blasio's universal pre-K. Bill de Blasio, public pre-K programs changed my children's life. Other American families deserve the same. Yeah. Listen, if Bill de Blasio fucking did it in New York, so can Zohran Mamdani. You just want to defend the rich. Also, Bill de Blasio also froze the rent. Like, he also did that. He froze the fucking rent. Bill de Blasio also did it. So, again, Bill de Blasio can freeze the rent and institute fucking universal fucking pre-K. Zohran can do the same thing. Well, probably expand universal pre-K to have like more free fucking education, free public education for everyone in New York, or for universal fucking childcare. Either one. You know what I fucking mean here. If Bill de Blasio can do it, so can Zohran Mamdani.
No,
all we want is
the
the
mayor of New
billionaires
York
pay
should
whatever
focus
you
on
wanna
delivering
pay.
the most services to the citizens of
He
the
should
city and make it.
And that's exactly what that's what he's gonna do. Like, yeah, like again, New York has more money than most fucking countries on the planet. It is an incredibly rich city with a lot of rich and powerful people who need to pay their fair share of taxes. You want to get some fucking public services into the fucking goddamn city and have the city become more affordable? You tax the fuck out of the billionaires and the rich.
Get a point of
I'm
improving
sorry,
life for them.
your fellow New Yorkers have said he should focus on affordability. This is why they have voted for Mamdani, and that's why today I will be here to talk about his plans on childcare, why people are talking about his plans. He's going to experiment to try to bring down grocery costs in food deserts. God bless him on that.
That's true. It's a good policy. Again, like the publicly funded grocery chain thing, which is, by the way, a thing that's being implemented in multiple counties of the United States. Because, guys, it turns out that having the private means of production for grocery store chains, having it purely be focused on the profit motive, it's not a good thing, to be honest. It makes it such that a lot of companies, a lot of food chains, not food chains, but grocer chains, are a lot less likely to want to do business in certain rural parts of the fucking country because why would they, right? Like, there's no fucking money to be made there. We're not going to make a fucking profit there. Like, what are you, fucking stupid? What are you, fucking crazy? Why would we want to fucking have a grocery store out there? Like, we're not going to make any fucking money from these rural peasant dumb fucks. But guess what? There's still people living there and they need to be able to afford groceries. So the city gets together and just like, well, we have to do this publicly run. So Zohran Mamdani is doing a pilot program with, like, I think about 4 or 5 different locations and seeing, like, how would this work in New York? Let's see. Let's figure it out. Let's see what happens.
I'm going to try something. When was the last time you saw America? I'm going to try something.
You think
for
somebody who
families,
has
and
absolutely
he's
no
gonna bring
experience,
down-
33-year-old socialist, is going to succeed as the mayor of New York?
Yes, I
with
do.
no real experience
he's
whatsoever
gonna
in city.
Bro, you know, I have to cry about the fact that Zohran Mamdani's a fucking socialist. I fucking cry more, you fucking loser. He's a socialist. He's gonna tax billionaires. Cry more, you fucking loser.
A lot more for working families than someone like Cuomo who says, how many billions of dollars can we get into my campaign so that I can try to beat this guy back? Look, this is democracy at work. People want to see someone who's on their side, and that is Zohran Mamdani.
You've mentioned housing as an element of the affordability issue a couple of times. It's one of the areas of agreement among almost everybody that we have to find a way to get housing supply up. Practically speaking, how do we have that happen in New York and everywhere?
I'm glad you asked that, because just this week,
no more questions from that sniveling little wretch. Thank God.
State Senate unanimously passed a housing bill that Chairman Tim Scott and I put together with help from every single member of the committee, both Republicans and Democrats. And the answer is supply. We need more housing supply. And the role of the federal government, basically, has been, we'll do the finance end of it somewhat. We do a little bit on public housing, and basically to stay out, while for 40 years, year over year over year, the price of housing keeps going up. This bill is a real sea change because it diagnoses the problem correctly. It says we just don't have enough housing anywhere in America. And that's true, urban, rural. It's true about rental housing. It's true about...
And we've talked about the reason for as to why that's the case. A lot of these fucking real estate developers, what they're going to do is they'll buy the plot of land, have it ready to be able to start building the housing, and they'll just not build the housing, right? The plot is there, it's been bought out, ready for something to be built on there, and then they'll just not buy it. Why? Because what they want is to make sure that there's going to be people ready to move in there as soon as the building is up who can start paying rent. Because again, guys, it's almost as if having the private mode of production and having the profit motive being the main incentivizing factor for things that have an inelastic demand, like housing, might be actually a bad thing.
Housing for first-time home buyers. It's true about housing for seniors, housing for people with disabilities, housing for people who have no housing at all. So what this bill does is it moves forward on a lot of different fronts at once. It has a lot of pieces in it to make it less expensive to build. More modular housing, for example. More pre-approved plan book housing, so you don't have to spend time getting plans approved. It also has my innovation fund in it to say if you're one of those cities that's actually trying to build more housing, federal government will be a good partner to you. We'll help put some money on the table for the new elementary school or for the new sewer connections that you're going to need. But the whole notion
seems like good policy.
Push toward more supply, which will help bring down prices.
I'll tell you one thing that would bring down prices in New York, but he won't ever do it, which is just deregulating everything. We have a...
Oh, of course you bring that up, you fucking sniveling little coward. Guys, if we just do a Bunda agenda, we're just gonna do more deregulation. That's definitely going to fucking bring down prices. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, bro. Hey, ring, 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 ring. 2008 is fucking calling. And guess what? Everything was fucking deregulated. Oh, and it caused the fucking economy to crash. Fucking stupid dipshit. Of course he's just like, if you just do deregulation and just give as much money as possible to the fucking billionaires, that money will just trickle down to everybody else. Trust me, it's definitely something that has happened before and always something is happening. Again, hey, for those who don't know, Google Kansas 2012 fucking experiment, and you'll learn some fucking interesting stuff about a funny little man named Art Laffer, a dude who is now constantly laughed at for his stupid, idiotic fucking nonsense. And that's the exact same talking point that this sniveling fucking dipshit is bringing up.
A lot of apartments that are under rent stabilization and rent control, but that's a third rail. I mean, I've lived here my whole life, so, you know.
Yeah, sure. Third rail.
Work here.
Just like Israel, bro.
That Zohran is talking about is how to increase housing supply here in New York City. Bring in more new housing. And that is one of the ways that you give young people an opportunity to have their own place. You know, I just do one little stat in this area. Back in the 1980s, 1990s, first-time home buyer was 28 years old. Today, they're 38 years old. And an increasing number...
Holy shit, bro. Increase of 10 years, bro? Boy meets mini, bro. Now what's the progress there of getting your first fucking house, bro? I know you're getting up there in the fucking years. Oh my god, bro.
Number of young people are just saying, I will never get a house.
Ain't fucking happening. Cooked, bro. Wallahi, you are cooked.
Never do that. I met with a bunch of my fire chiefs out in Massachusetts not so long ago, and they were talking about having hired a whole new cohort of young firefighters. They're all basically in their late 20s.
Fucking wild.
And around the table, the chiefs were all saying, and most of them still have to live at home with their mom and dad. They cannot afford to buy housing. That's a problem nationally. And
it's a problem just everywhere. Yeah, like she's saying, nationally. It's just a problem in general because, again, part of the reason, yeah, I agree with Elizabeth Warren, it is a supply issue. It's the same fucking problem that we have here in fucking Canada, right? I've talked about why we have a fucking housing crisis. It's because for like the past like longer than a fucking decade. I want to say like 10, 15 years. The only fucking housing that was getting approved in Canada were fucking housing that were used as luxury condos for people to gamble with as speculative real estate assets. Huge fucking problem. This was huge in fucking Vancouver. It was happening back when I was in fucking Ottawa. Tons of luxury condos were going up, and I knew why. It's like, bro, no one's fucking gonna be able to afford to buy this fucking shit. Get the fuck out of here. Nah, this is all for fucking, like, rich people to fucking gamble with, for fuck's sake. And it was the most obvious shit on the planet. Most obvious of obvious fucking things, bro. It's just like, nah, it's not about building fucking housing for people to be able to move in and be able to have, like, I don't know, be able to start a life for themselves. No, the point of this is for, like, stupid rich assholes and foreign, like, capital investors to be able to, like, invest in the housing and start gambling with it on the fucking stock market. That's the fucking point of it.
We need to help the cities that want to build more
Without
housing.
a doubt. And lower rates obviously would help as well. Senator, always good to have you here. Thank you. Appreciate it. Senator.
Lovely, cool. Fuck you. You suck. I hate you. My hatred of this individual specifically is on another level. Okay, cool, fantastic. So we got Elizabeth Warren defending our boy Zohran Mamdani and endorsing our boy Zohran Mamdani. I do think that the tide is somewhat fucking turning. There's a lot more, like, House representatives and a lot more people within the Democratic Party that are coming around either through, well, political pressure or on their own, of course, to endorsing Zohran Mamdani. Because, again, he is the way forward. If the fucking Democratic Party want to fucking succeed in the future as a party, Zohran is the way. He is the fucking vibe shift. You want to fucking win, Democrats, you embrace everything that fucking man is doing, because that man right there is going to be your main fucking pathway to victory, if you care at all about fucking victory, of course, and aren't just more interested in sort of like being able to do everything possible to, I don't know, care more and just think about the billionaire buddies and like, I don't know, like corporations that you want to also court with, similar to the fucking goddamn Republican Party. Because that's the actual problem here. The Democratic Party is a party that is similar to the Republican Party, that they are wholeheartedly captured by the same corporations and billionaires. They want to court the exact same kinds of donors because it's all a fucking corporatocracy. You know, as our boy George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't fucking in it. Still is true to this fucking day. So again, Zohran Mamdani seeks to fundamentally fucking challenge that, and I think he definitely has what it takes to fucking defeat it. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that.